So this gentleman, his platform is called This Might Be Risky. So they try to act like they're catching cruise, meaning they're having fun. But no, but these are very serious conversation. They are serious, okay? They are serious. They are very serious. Let me play it.
Rules, regulation, laws, everything. If you're not willing to, that's when I say God.
All right, let me rewind. I'm right there, but I'm gonna have to rewind it a little bit.
Know that, right? I'm just come on. You got it. Nice hat. Right? So if men were willing to give
yours, you better wear yours too.
If men were willing, send me one. If men are asking points, even if you get across full circle, both sides.
I'm fastening it forward. Okay, this part. This is the part that I heard earlier on, and I'm like, oh, we gotta talk about this if we get a chance. Okay, shout out to Marriott. Marriott, welcome. All right, so let me play it and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so you can see it's a panel of about 8 people.
I got a question for you. Can I ask you a question, Chi-Town?
Yeah. Go ahead, OG.
Okay, because you did call me a simp earlier. That's why I can't
Jesus Christ!
Shit from nobody without
I
fighting back.
say OG personally is a simp now, but I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, I'm in good company. Y'all think God is a simp now. I'm in good company. Chi-Town, let me ask you a question. Personally, if you had the will in both hands, because the first time I ever heard the word happy wife, happy life, that's a white term. That wasn't even spoken in my community.
All right, before I continue, what do you guys think about the term happy wife, happy life? First of all, before I continue, but Beno, where you dey? What do you think about the term or the phrase happy wife, happy life? I actually want to see if I can dig in a little bit on this, because this thing is causing a lot of problems for a lot of people. Happy wife, happy life. What do you guys think about that? I'm waiting in the chat. And then I'll also go and ask ChatGPT, ask Gemini, ask Google. Let's see what they all say. Happy wife, happy life. Okay, happy wife, happy life. I have heard that phrase all my life. Okay, what does this mean? Let's do coaching though. Coaching session. We're in coaching in session. All right, I've asked Gemini. Let me go to ChatGPT. Let's see what it says. Happy wife. But I bet say yes. Happy wife, happy life, happy living. But I bet I think you're going to be called a simp. Yeah, effectively, very, very soon. Somebody is going to listen to this and say, that man right there is a lost cause. Somebody's going to say it. All right. So let me see if we can see. I'm going to read to you what it says in happy wife, happy life. What y'all think? Mario says, me, I don't know about that one. It does sound like Oyinbo saying. And Oyinbo now, of course. But what do you think? Do you have any, you disagree, agree? Or you disagree, agree? Happy wife, happy life. What are your thoughts around that? Do you agree or you disagree? Agree or disagree? Agree or disagree? Happy wife, happy life. What is this saying? Let me close this. All right, there you go. Perfect. All right, so what do you guys do? Do you guys agree or disagree? Let me come back to the chat. Everybody's on defense. Hey, now wow. Am I by myself today? It's okay now. Just tell me what you feel. You can also go and Google search and Google it too, if that floats your boat. Me, I'm just here for a cruise tonight. But I want us to learn too. Let's see. Let me see. I want us to learn as well. All right. So happy wife, happy life. Gemini says the saying. But Ben just agrees straight up. That's a happily married man right there. They have no problem agreeing to that. But let's see. This thing says the saying. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I want to see if I can put this on the screen for now to see. So that there you go. 1 second. So you guys can see it while we're talking about it. Let's see. Happy wife, happy life. Happy wife, happy life. You agree, you disagree. That's what they are arguing about, I guess, But not exactly, because they could never. The ones that disagree with it, they don't have a problem saying I disagree. But they also tend to be very single people. Okay. Happy wife, happy life. And it's usually men. Okay. But there are some women that may just, make some common sense out of it, out of disagreeing with it. But, and then the ones that agrees with it, if they've listened to enough men of social media, Indomie generation, they tend to shy away from admitting that this is what works for them. They tend to shy away from that. And that's just kind of sad, because it tells us that the ones that are supposed to be teaching, they are also backing down. They are afraid of saying what the reality is in terms of how to get results. All right. So let me show this also. So you can see here, this is what Gemini says. It says the saying happy wife, happy life means that if your wife is content and fulfilled in the relationship, it will lead to a more peaceful and enjoyable life for everyone in the household, including yourself. All right, so that part, including yourself, is usually removed from it. But hey, this is just Gemini's opinion, right? A lot of people that may have tried to make their wife happy and don't feel like it's reciprocated, obviously that person would disagree because of their personal experiences, right? That person will effectively disagree. All right, so he says here are some perspectives on this phrase. Positive view. It emphasizes the importance of a strong and supportive relationship between spouses. Okay. All right. When couples work together to make each other happy, it can create a positive and harmonious home environment. Negative view. Critics argue it's sexist because it puts the responsibility for happiness solely on the wife. Wait, what? I'm confused. Gemini is confused now. Wala.
Should you be that?
That wasn't the way I was interpreting it. I was thinking put the responsibility for happiness solely on the husband to make the wife happy. That's what I was thinking, but English is confused too. Anyway, and it implies the husband's needs are not important. Okay. It can also downplay the importance of the husband's happiness to the overall well-being of the relationship. Okay. Now, modern view. Research suggests happiness goes both ways. If both partners are content, it leads to greater happiness for everyone. A healthy relationship is one where both people's needs and desires are considered. But I bet would absolutely agree with this as well because of our conversation previously today. So while the phrase itself might be a bit outdated, the core message about okay, let me get back to the main thing itself. Let's see. It says, okay, the core message. So while the phrase itself might be outdated, the core message about the importance of a happy spouse in a relationship still holds weight. Okay, all right. Let me ask, so what's the source? So what's the source? What's the source of the phrase? Let's see if it tells us a little bit more, because all right, so the exact origin of happy wife, happy life is a bit of a mystery. While there's no definitive source, researchers have found a few possibilities. Early 1900s, a rhyme from a political party platform in 1903 mentions a similar phrase. Okay. Mid 1900s, there are claims of the saying appearing in real estate ads in the 1950s. Oh, in real estate ads. That would make sense, because women basically control the economy because of, a lot of buying decisions are driven by women. Overall, it seems like it might have emerged from popular culture sayings rather than having a single written source. Okay, so is it really to be taken literally? All right, because obviously the people that are arguing against it are reading it literally, all right? But let me see what it says about that. It says, happy wife, happy life shouldn't be taken completely literally. Here's why. Okay, so here's where, this is now my weakness. This is my personal weakness. Take it as my weakness, okay? I struggle to understand why grown men would take that phrase literally. Okay? I struggle personally to understand. I'm applying my patience in all types of ways. I'm trying to be patient with my brothers. I am struggling to understand why a grown man would take that statement literally, either in the form of it being said or even in application. Right? So even if you are trying to make your wife happy, there's usually some instant gratification from just feeling like you have the ability to make your wife happy, if you're a normal, healthy human being, of course. Now, if you've tried to make people happy in the past and they never became happy, and it was not reciprocated, and you start to feel like life is not fair, I can understand you small. Hello, Mr. EE. I can understand you just a little bit, but at some point, you grow mature and you say, hey, there's too many moving variables. I'm not going to get stuck on fairness between me and my wife. But, that's just where we are right now, So this old thing about soft guy era, drizzle, what's the other one? The B4, the G4. I got a little grasp of what they're talking about, but what it all comes down to is that women say they want certain things, and then a few men who has basically given up on being able to find a good woman ever. Because if you find a good woman ever, if you find a wife, you find a good thing. You will never find yourself in that space where you have to compete with women like that. It's just hard. You can't relate. You can't comprehend it, right? The best you can do is sympathize with those who are struggling with learning women. That's the best you can do, but ultimately you can't relate, But hey, maybe some of you are much more gifted than me. It's not really your life, but you can relate. Listen, I'm listening. I'm all ears. I'm paying attention. Okay, so that's what they're saying. So this one says happy wife, happy life shouldn't be taken completely literally. Here's why. Shared responsibility. A healthy relationship is a two-way street. Both partners should contribute to each other's happiness and well-being. It's not just about the wife being happy. Okay, there you have it. So I guess we had to spell that out for you. So if you're struggling with that. Outdated gender roles. The phrase reflects older gender norms where the wife managed the home and the husband provided financially. In modern relationships, domestic responsibilities and happiness are shared goals. Agreed. At the mindset level, it is not accurate. A lot of women still have expectations of a man being a man. Most of them, they still have that expectations. Okay, and I'm not going to call that expectation unrealistic, because guess what? Men also want to be leaders. That's not unrealistic if it's both ways, if that's congruent across the board, right? So, but the chat, you got to be careful with the chat GPTs and the AIs. They are like forward, like 200 years ahead of where we are actually. You got to be careful with those things. They will spill things at you. They might even say, hey, it's absolutely disrespectful to call anybody a he or a she. They might go that far. I'm talking about the chat GPTs and the AI tools now, okay? So, one brain. While you're using the technology, let's borrow ourselves brains, okay? And pay attention to where you are. At the end of the day, these things are a function of human beings, okay? While the idea of a happy spouse leading to a happy life has some truth, it's more about mutual effort and respect within a relationship. I actually personally disagree with that because it's just not the reality, okay? It becomes mutual. It doesn't always necessarily start as mutual. Not especially if you're finding yourself in a place of funk. If the marriage is already broken apart, communication breakdown, it's not mutual. It's not reality, okay? Sometimes the other person have a coconut head and need to take a lot of patience on your part to wait for them to like cool off so you can actually engage them in a proper conversation. That part where you're kind of waiting off to cool off, that's where Gemini is saying, oh, it's supposed to be mutual. And then you find yourself combating back and forth and then you never get anywhere actually. It's a dance. Like we're human beings, we're not machines. It's a dance. If you're fast enough to get to the complaint first, then also you can also be fast enough to get to some patience and kind of like observe your partner and see and wait for the right timing. Timing is everything before you can learn certain information, right? And if you think it should be equal the way I feel, that's just how you feel. So it's inaccurate. The other person might actually feel like they've been given so much and you haven't paid attention and now they've given up. But you are saying we should be equal and mutual at the same time. Really? That's not the human being. That's a machine. Okay? So patience, lots of patience is required, and these machines might have a hard time comprehending that all the way in terms of application, which is why you need a coach and you need counselors to help you with that, especially if you're coming from a place of culture, okay? Because some of these new age therapists are also acting like machines, and that's not reality, okay? Here are some alternative ways to think about it. Happy partners, happy life. Good. If that makes you feel better, why not? Okay? This phrasing emphasizes shared happiness but it can also set you up for unrealistic expectations or blind you to thinking that you're the one beating the other person to doing the right thing first. Whereas your pride might actually have taken over the relationship for a long time and you haven't paid attention. Maybe you don't mean to. Maybe your partner has been feeling some type of way much longer than you realize. So the trying to do everything equally is, you're gonna hurt yourself. Thriving relationship, thriving lives. All right, how about just calm down, cool off, and listen to the other person first. Understand where they're coming from. Learn active listening. Learn active listening. Try to understand where they're coming from first without manage your expectations. Okay? Don't get attached to the outcome. Just be interested in how they feel. How's that? Does that sound too unfair for you? Then don't be in a relationship. Don't be in a romantic relationship, because this thing right here, everybody acting like a robot, is not going to work. Let me show you an example of everybody acting like a robot, and then we'll get to the conversation of the day. Welcome, D-Love. How you doing, D-Love? My G. Good to see you. All right, so I'm going to play this video, and then we'll talk. And
So if you had power in both hands right now to fix this relationship, how would you balance it? Both hands now, women and men. You got the power of both. How would you fix it?
I feel like I fix it in terms of women not thinking it's one-sided. Like I said with the phrase "happy wife, happy life," it should be happy woman, happy man, happy marriage. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be just one-sided, because at my age, all we heard was happy wife, happy life, and then niggas like, damn, why is it all got to be about her and we the one providing everything? We the one that got to pay everything. We the one that got to do all this and that. Why the fuck it got to be happy wife, happy life? Why it can't be happy husband, happy wife?
Hold on, HQ, hold on, please. I'm giving them both hands. Now he got to fix the women. Now he got to fix the men too. What would you do for the men?
For the men, in terms of like, I just say, don't expect a woman to be all this, that, and the third that you wanted her to be if you're not willing to provide the things that she needs. You don't have the right to complain.
Last question, final question. Do you think women should submit to men when men is not so willing to submit to God?
I don't really want to get into the religious thing because
Just yes or no. If you don't want to get into it, you can just say yes or no.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the religious thing. I feel like.
Do anybody else want to answer that question? Do you think women should submit to men when men are not willing to submit to God?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why should a woman submit herself to somebody who doesn't have the humility to submit himself to a higher authority? That's silly. The greatest generals were the best soldiers. Absolutely not.
Who determines what submission to God looks like?
That's why I want to get.
That's a very good question because you may have your own culture and your own understanding. He didn't say what religion. He said a religion.
Right.
So
Okay, but you would have to assume that everybody on
we shouldn't
planet
assume
Earth
things.
is religious or believes in a higher
Everybody is
authority.
religious to a degree.
And that's
EBD.
not going to make a functional marriage either.
What do you mean? Hold on.
Yeah,
Elaborate.
wait a minute. Let's bump our brakes when we get this goddamn bus rolling down the hill too fast. Did you really listen to the question?
I
The
did.
question is submitting to God, and it's not saying I'm gonna submit to a God. There's rules, regulation, laws, everything. If you're not
Right.
willing to, that's when I say God, I'm talking about rules, regulation, laws.
Okay.
So when you understand that, then she has a purpose to come in and say, this man gonna have a standard. And one thing I found about this goddamn space, it don't have no fucking standards.
It's true.
Why? What makes you say that or think that?
So you can do it for yourself.
I can give some examples. I can give some examples in the
I'll
Bible.
give you,
standard.
I'll give
You
you
a
the
smart
standard.
guy.
I'll give you an example.
So
of
all religious niggas that's religious and that submit to God don't get cheated on. That's what you're saying.
That's not what he said, brother. He asked
That's
should
basically
women
like what he
submit to. Oh, man.
You see how this go?
No.
You see how this
Last
go?
time.
It's kind of
Let me
like,
put it this way.
I can't do it because
So
there's
niggas
gonna be
was
something
saying-
lacking
so
over
niggas
here,
was
but you
saying
want
it's
that
don't
woman
get
to
cheated on.
trust
That's what
in
you're saying.
you.
No.
Say that one more
You
time.
want that woman to trust in you
Hang on.
with a greater understanding to give of her own life, and you're not willing to submit to anything. So you can change your rules and regulation anytime you want to.
No, that's not the
You
argument.
have no
that's being
standards.
made. It's not being made. You asked a question. You were asking us all a question, and then you went off. I'm just
No,
asking.
I'm talking about- no, he came up with a
what does-
rebuttal.
Wait.
I
What
spoke
does
to his
this
rebuttal.
God for each man look like? It would have to look like something completely different depending on the man.
What?
That only happens in places like America where we think we should have a liberal definition of God. Like in other countries, they don't do that. EBD.
What?
You're a traveled person. You know, in other countries,
confused
it's
yet?
more a homogenous look of what the Most High looks like. True or false?
What?
What?
And, you're a very traveled man. I didn't insult you. I said you're a traveled person. Like you get around the world, you know about things in other countries. That I wasn't being disrespectful, sir. You just seem like you just want to react.
No, go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you're not so reactionary, right? You cool?
Ah.
It seems like the most religious man to me is the shiestiest motherfuckers in the world, if you ask me.
I mean, y'all talking about religion. He said submit to God. Those are two totally
Yeah,
different
the
things.
ones that
in humble
submit to
opinion.
God, I preach in the pulpit. Them the most shiestiest niggas I know.
We can definitely have a conversation
What?
about people on some shiesty people on the pulpit, but I don't think that's what he was talking about, and I think we're now veering the conversation on.
Preachers, men of God, women of God, them are some of the most volatile people I ever
Oh,
known
they
in my
submitting
life.
to God, though. I don't care what their
But
position
are they
is.
actually right? I would argue with what he's saying. Are they actually submitting to God if they're doing the shiesty stuff? If they're not actually following
No.
the text of the book, then they wouldn't be a person of God. I would say they
But
wouldn't
he
be a person of
submits
God.
to God, though, right?
The book would classify as
No.
the Antichrist or a person like
But
deceiving.
he submits to God, though, right?
No, he submits to
No,
the God of
let's-
money,
let's-
maybe. There's a lot of gods out there. There's the God of
All right. Have you noticed how the topic has changed? They basically confirmed what the OG was talking about, which is there's no standards. I know they're just talking. I know, and conversation can go that way, but You gotta pay attention to these small things. This is how this is the way it starts from. Like you can't even maintain a simple conversation. He asked him three questions. Asked him 3 questions. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can go back a little bit. Oh Lord. So I stumbled into this particular part of the live earlier on today, and I was like, oh my God. So was at the same time when I was chatting back and forth with you guys, I was on my way home.
Shout out. Let me ask you a question. Because the first time I ever heard the word happy wife, happy life, that's a white term. That wasn't even spoken in my community.
They say it's a white term. It wasn't spoken in this community. Honestly, I've been hearing that all my life, and I'm African, and I was raised in Africa, so I'm not sure what he meant by that. Just because you haven't heard anything doesn't mean much. But let's keep going.
So if you had power in both hands right now to fix this relationship,
that was the test. He gave him power on both hands. Try to pretend you were the woman. Try to pretend you were the man, right? Hold on, let me see the chats. Mario says, so these Agbalagbas don't know that submission is rooted in the Christian Bible. Yeah, even the OG tried to help them with the rules and regulation. Like, hey, if you have order in society, you don't really have to overcomplicate the idea of God, ideology of God, or call it something else if you want, but submitting to higher power, higher authorities, right? And that gentleman said something right there that really was profound. He said some of the best generals were also some of the best soldiers. But what we have today is people trying to fall out of the skies and become leaders immediately. Oh, let's see.
how would you balance it?
How would you balance
Both
it?
hands now.
Both
Women and
hands.
men. You got the power of both. How would you fix it?
I feel like I'll fix it in terms of women not thinking.
He'll fix it in terms of women. He will lead with the women. Now, let me give him the benefit of a doubt. Shout out to this brother at Chinatown. He's going to start with the women first. Okay, that's just his mindset. Okay, and you're going to see how this conversation will go in that same direction steadily until the conversation completely went into shambles. Okay. wait and see.
And it's one-sided, like I said with
One-sided like. Now we're talking about sexual polarity here for the most part. Okay, this is not a situation where we're going to be roommates. It just happens to be a man or woman. This is sexual. These people would like a woman to give them the bekus. Okay, ultimately they want some kind of sexual energy to transpire. That's the reality at the end of the day. Okay. Now this young man below, they entered the black dragon. He has a smirk on his face. There's a smirk on his face. Let's keep going.
With the phrase "happy wife, happy life," it should be.
Oh, it's nodding. That brother is nodding. It's like the phrase "happy wife, happy life." That's problematic, you know.
Happy woman, happy man.
Not to say I've been hearing it from Niger, right? So it would be even us. Our native language is not English in Niger, so how can we hear it before you? But we'll leave OG alone, because OG, I'm actually on his side on this one. Happy wife, happy life has gone so far back into the past. Gemini cannot find its source. So imagine, okay? All right. So I think, like I said earlier on, what we find, people that have engaged this conversation a lot, they have a hard time just with their future. So there's nothing wrong with the phrase. Don't be a mad person. The phrase is not literally. It never meant literally. They're just talking to a man, happy wife, happy life. If I was talking to a wife, right, and she's saying, hey, I would like my marriage to be, okay, all right, great. How's your listening skills? What is it that he will say about you? What is it that he wants from you? Why is he angry? These are part of the conversations we will eventually have once we make sure you're good, because you cannot give what you don't have, right? So So, but if I'm talking to a man and it becomes an advertisement phrase in real estate, which is the reality is that women control the decision making that controls the economy. That's a fact. Right? Let's keep going.
And happy marriage. That's what it should be. Happy life. It should be happy woman, happy man, happy.
It should be happy woman, happy man, happy married. What about the children, bros? You left the children out. Let's make it all equal above, just to make sure that everybody, that the men feel good. We should also include the children, and not just the children. Include every name of the children involved. So it should be happy Chowtown, happy Chowtown, Mrs. Chowtown, happy Dondre, happy Brad, happy Michelle, happy Stephanie, happy Ade, happy Jumoke. Make sure you mention all the kids' name, and then you now say happy life, so that everybody can feel good. We have to spell it out before we get it.
Marriage. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be just one-sided because and
it shouldn't be his point. Let's be honest. What he's saying is that it shouldn't be just one-sided. We kind of agree on that, right? What I disagree on is if it's not one-sided right now, anyone feels it's not one-sided, the strategy to make it two-sided by force. Say, forget your emotions. Let's just make it two-sided by force, by fire. That strategy will always fail you. And that's what's missing in the conversation. You're right. A happy life simply means everybody is rocking with each other. They're happy. But you're talking about the end outcome results.
In my age, all we heard was happy wife, happy life. And then niggas like, damn, why it's all got to be about her and we the one providing everything? We the one
providing everything. Why has it got to be just us? Ladies, answer me.
We got to pay everything.
We got to pay
everything. They got to do all this and that. Why the fuck it got to be happy wife, happy life? Why?
OG is trying to listen. He's trying to be like, I want my brother to feel heard. But I put it to you like this. All right? That man is confused. He never expected it.
He never expected it.
That man is shocked. But he's going to ask.
He shocked you.
Now man is going to ask a couple of questions to see where we get with this conversation. We'll start the other conversation at the top of the hour. We have 13 more minutes. Let me catch some cruise with this first. Fimka says, let's leave this confused crowd. We want to fight Brother Ben now on our topic. 13 minutes. Give me 13 minutes. I hear you. I don't think he was implying he's never heard it before. Maybe he was saying it's not prevalent in his community. Yeah, he did say that. No. Yeah, he did say that. He said but he said he thinks it's a white thing. I don't think it's a white thing. I think it's just a saying. But you're right, Marriott. I think it's just he's saying it's not a common saying in his community. That was more of what he was saying. But Allah is dragging us. I want Alpha activated. Okay, all right. Give me. Let's warm up. Let's do me a favor. You want us to get started with that? Hit that like button, share, subscribe. Let's ping everyone else into the room. All right. But Ben, why are you running? Why are you? But Ben, you see that there? But Ben, no. Is he there?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
All right, let's get this going.
Okay. Be happy husband, happy wife.
Hold on, HQ, hold on, please. I'm giving them both hands. Now he got to fix the women. Now he got to fix the men too. What would you do for the men?
For the men, in terms of like, I'll just say.
No, he's going to do the equality. This is where Brother Ben misses me sometimes. When they ask, what would you do for the man? It's going to try to do equality. All right. I personally don't think equality is the answer. Not in romantic relationships. I don't think women want equality because they don't want to change tires either. Okay? I think that's what we're missing. We try to make assumptions from a very surface level. We got to be careful with that. Okay? Because again, remember, keep in mind, this is never about black and white. And that's going to show up in our conversations today again. Okay? It's deeper than anything surface level. Oh, since happy wife, happy life, let's just make the woman happy. No, that's not enough. There's no substance in that. She's going to be able to, you tell on yourself, and then she's not going to appreciate or respect that because you have you're gullible. She doesn't want a gullible man either. So it's never like some kind of like, okay, since they say this, left flip to the other side. No. That's no.
Don't expect a woman to be all this, that, and the third that you wanted her to be if you're not willing to provide the things that she needs. You don't have the right to complain.
Oh.
Last question.
You don't have the right to complain if you don't provide what you need. That sounds cute. On paper, he's right, just like he was right the other time, right? But when it comes to reality, how does this play out? Last question, bro.
Question. Do you think women should submit to men when men is not so willing to submit to God?
I don't really want to get into the religious thing because
Just yes or no. If you don't want to get into it, you can just say yes or no.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the religious thing. I feel like.
Do anybody else want to answer that question?
Do anybody else want to
you
answer
think
that
women
question?
Should submit to men when men are not willing to submit to God?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Why should a woman submit herself to somebody who doesn't have the humility to submit himself to a higher authority? That's silly. The greatest generals were the best soldiers. Absolutely not.
The greatest generals were the best soldiers. Absolutely apt, on point. Now, here's the thing. I don't think women decide to submit or not. I don't think it's a decision. Jesus Christ, Lord help me. Help me explain, because I wish I get tired on this one. Oh God.
We go explain because no evidence.
I don't think women make that decision to submit or not. Okay? If they have to make a decision to submit or not, God help you, man, especially in these modern times. There are some people that but it's because they're subscribed to some kind of higher authority too. And, the least they can give you is expect you to submit to the same higher authority. If you can't submit to that, that means they will leave your ass too. You're not going to be their husband. I don't think women decide I'm going to submit. I think they naturally submit. Okay? I think they naturally submit. When they feel safe and secure enough, they're submitted. It's not let me think, road A or road B, submit or not submit. That's not how it works. Jesus Christ. Let's keep going. But good point to this, if you have to bring it down to principles so that you can copy paste this into your life, I agree with him. If you want, you have to be a man of a certain caliber. You have to be a man of prestige in order to attract submission, not to demand submission. If you have to demand it, could it work? Oh my God, could it work? So you say it's conditional before.
Who determines what submission to God looks like?
That's why I want to get.
If you have to ask that question, Lord help me with patience.
The question, because you may have your own culture and your own understanding.
That man is better than me in this moment. He said, "That's a good question."
He didn't say what religion. He said a religion.
Right.
So
Okay, but you would have to assume that everybody on
we
planet
shouldn't assume
Earth
things.
is religious or believes in a higher
Everybody is
power.
religious to a degree. EB.
This is when the conversation started to go left, all the way to the left.
That's not going to make a functional marriage either.
What do you mean? Hold on.
Yeah,
wait, what?
To a
What?
degree, EB.
And that's not going to make religious or believes in a higher
Everybody is
power.
religious to a degree.
And that's
Actually believe in a religious power if it help unity. Oftentimes that can help a lot of people with a united front. Yes, it can help marriage as well. Absolutely. If they're both subscribed to the same thing. Okay? Absolutely.
it's not going to make a functional marriage either.
What do you mean? Hold on.
Yeah,
Elaborate.
wait.
Absolutely can make a functional marriage. Absolutely.
Wait a minute. Let's
Baba said, wait a minute.
up our brakes before we get this goddamn bus rolling down the hill too fast.
No baton.
Did you really listen to the question?
I
The
did.
question is submitting to God. Is this not saying I'm gonna submit to a God?
On planet Pluto. That's not what it means. Okay, we have to break that down too. How about submitted to your purpose? A man on a mission, a man that has a personal purpose that's clear cut. You can tell that this man has a sense of direction in life. How about if a man does not have that, do you expect a woman to submit to him? Struggle. Oh.
Regulation, laws, everything. If you're not willing to, that's when I say God, I'm talking about rules, regulation, laws.
Okay.
So when you understand that, then she has a purpose to come in and say, this man gonna have a standard. And one thing I
Have
find
a
about
standard.
this goddamn space, it don't have no fucking standards.
No standard.
It's true.
Because of
Why
coconut
would
head.
you say that or think that?
So
You can do it for yourself.
I can give some examples. I can give some examples.
Somebody said, why would you say that or think that? Somebody said that's true.
Like,
Okay, I'll give
You
you
a
a
smart
standard.
guy.
I'll give you. Okay, so I'll give you an example.
They say you're a smart guy. He really wants to say, dude, are you all right? Come here. He really wants to say like, you're a smart guy. You're a smart, intelligent guy. Why would you say something so stupid?
What makes you say that or think that?
So
You can do it for yourself.
I can give some examples. I can give some examples in the like standard.
I'll give
You
you
a
a
smart
standard.
guy.
I'll give you. Okay, so I'll give you an example.
I'm
So
done.
all religious niggas that's religious and that submit to God don't get cheated on. That's what you're saying.
Shegwangu, do you hear the logic? These are the issues. All religious guys, they don't get cheated on. Is that what you're saying?
That is God.
That's not what he said, brother. He asked
That's
should
basically
women
like what he
submit to me. Oh, man.
You see how this go?
No.
You see how this
Last
go?
time.
It's kind of
Let me
like,
put it this way.
I can't do it because
So
there's
niggas
supposed to be
was
something
saying that-
lacking
so
over
niggas
here,
was
but you
saying
want
that
that
don't
woman
get
to
cheated on.
trust
That's what
in
you're saying.
you.
No.
Say that one more
You want
time.
that woman to trust in
So I'm gonna end it right there. Let me tell you like this, right? When I first stumbled into this kind of conversations back in 2020, at first I was kind of harsh on them. Then I cool off. I was like, relax, it's not that deep. They're just having a conversation, barbershop, right? It's not a conversation with a woman, so don't judge them. Eventually, I'm like, nah, Ola, stop the cap. This is how these people would have a conversation with their woman. This is precisely what they're going to do, okay? Not exactly, of course, but in terms of the ideologies, their comprehension level, no disrespect, in terms of these ideas, obviously it's not working, which is why they are arguing at the top of their lungs. It's not working, you know. But yeah, I think we should call that a day there. Yeah. But Ben, where are you? No running. This is what we are here for. We did enough warm up. Ada says hairstyle 2. Even my husband is shocked. He shocked him? Are you serious?
He shock you.
Oh more. I said they need this virtual daddy for real. Boys, you did fail exam F9. Notify hobby before changing hairstyle. Child, women really suffer. But I bet, come here. This is you. This is all you. I'm doing this for you, for us, for all of us, for you ladies too. Okay, this conversation, you guys are not gonna escape this too. There's a lot in it. But what I want to do is let me end this segment gracefully, and I'll be back in 20 seconds.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.